By week 4, my friend Renata knew. Renata has been my closest friend since we were assigned to adjacent cubicles at a temp job when we were both 22. She is the kind of woman who laughs loudly and asks direct questions and cries at commercials about dogs. And she is also, when the situation requires it, made of absolute iron. I told her over coffee at her kitchen table on a Wednesday evening, and I watched her face move through several distinct phases in about 90 seconds. Then she put both hands around her mug and she said, "What do you need from me? Not what are you going to do? Not I can't believe him. Not you poor thing. What do you need from me?" I have been grateful for that sentence every day since. I told her I wasn't ready to move yet. I told her I needed a witness. I told her I thought I knew what Daniel was planning and I needed her to help me figure out if I was right. Because here is what had been settling in my mind like sediment, slow and quiet and impossible to ignore once it reached the bottom. Daniel had planned the anniversary party. He had planned it with significant enthusiasm. He had paid the deposit himself, from the joint account, which he rarely touched without discussing it with me first. And about 10 days after I found the first notification, I had come across a document on our shared home computer, not hidden, just minimized in the taskbar, that was a property listing inquiry. A new construction condo in a development called Riverton Commons. 2 bedrooms. Daniel's email address in the contact field. I did not touch the document. I took a photograph of the screen, I put it in the folder. Renata and I sat with this for a long time. She said quietly that she thought she understood what I was thinking. She said it like a question. I said yes. The party was not a celebration. The party was a staging ground. He was going to use our 12th anniversary in a room full of 40 people, including both our families, to announce something. The condo inquiry told me he was already preparing for an exit. The soon told me he had a timeline. The party told me he had chosen his moment, and he had chosen to make it public. And I believe, though I cannot prove this, that he chose public because he thought it would make me smaller. That in front of 40 people, I would not be able to be anything except diminished. He did not know who he was dealing with. I want to pause here because I need you to understand something about what I was carrying during these weeks. I was going to work every morning. I was processing discovery documents. I was drafting correspondence. I was coming home and making dinner and sitting across the table from this man and having the kind of ordinary conversation that 12 years of shared life generates automatically, like background noise you stop hearing. I was doing all of this while holding the full weight of what I knew and he didn't know I knew. And I am not going to tell you that was easy. I am going to tell you that there were nights when I sat in my car in the driveway for 10 minutes before going inside because I needed to recalibrate. I would sit with my hands in my lap and breathe until I felt like myself again, and then I would pick up my bag and go in and I would be fine. My mother called during this period. She called, as she always did, on Sunday evenings. She asked how I was. I said, "Good, Mom, just busy." She said, "You sound tired, baby." I said I was fine. She has a way of sitting with silence on the phone that communicates more than most people's sentences. We sat in it together for a moment. Then she said, "You know that sometimes the brave thing and the right thing are exactly the same thing?" I don't know what made her say it. She says things like that sometimes. I wrote it on the back of the folder. 2 weeks before the party, I called an attorney. Not anyone from my firm. I did not want proximity to my professional life coloring the advice I received. I called a family law attorney in Oshkosh, a woman named Patricia Harlow, whose name I had seen on briefs and whose reputation in the regional legal community was efficient.